On the Business Courier front page centerpiece this week, the manufacturing industry is facing a big problem. Baby boomers are retiring and millennials aren't exactly flocking to the field. That's forcing manufacturing companies to find new, creative ways to bring in younger workers. Mazak, a Florence-based machining manufacturer, is having luck with an apprenticeship program through Gateway Community and Technical College. Here's how it works.
They are paired with someone when they come in, a more skilled person that's been here a while longer. And what happens is once they've learned that particular, trade in a particular area, then they would move on to a different area and learn from a different trainer that has been here, a skilled person. And that continues to happen until they're completely done with the 4 years. So the goal is at the 4 years that maybe they can build one of our machines by themselves.
The employment manager at Mazak, Angie Haralaga, says the problem lies in the perception of manufacturing jobs. Millennials see it as dirty and unrewarding work, but she says that's just not the case. In fact, she says it's clean, safe, and there is good money to be made. Well, more than 2.7 million baby boomers are expected to retire from manufacturing jobs in the next decade. At the same time, the manufacturing sector is expected to expand, creating thousands of new jobs. So how can manufacturing companies attract young people? Reporter Andy Brownfield joins Business Courier publisher Jamie Smith in the studio with more.
Thanks, Peg. Andy, thanks for being here today. Great story, by the way.
Thanks.
Now, what I took from the story, and Peg just mentioned, is the main thing is manufacturing industry has an image problem. Talk a little bit about what that means.
Well, if you look at the cover of the story, it portrays a factory worker in a very dingy, dark, and dangerous environment. And if you contrast that with the footage we just saw from Mazak, nothing could be further from modern advanced manufacturing. The problem is, though, for most parents and most millennials, they still have that antiquated notion of what manufacturing actually is.
Yeah. Now, I know there's a huge shortage right now of labor, but that's only going to get worse, as your story says, right?
It is. As Peg mentioned, 2.7 million baby boomers are going to retire in the next decade, and 700,000 new jobs will be created. Yet the Manufacturing Institute and Deloitte predict that only 1.4 million of those jobs are going to be filled. Wow. That means 2 million jobs nationwide in the next decade are going to be empty. And here locally, TechSolve predicts that 18,000 manufacturing jobs will go unfilled over the next decade.
Just here locally. Wow. So, we talk about image. A lot of it is the mindset. The millennials have a mindset. Most of the manufacturers have a mindset, and the two aren't meeting. What needs to be done to fix this mindset and get it going forward?
Well, I think both groups need to give some ground, because a lot of the older generation that currently owns and operates the manufacturing facilities, they come from a very pay your dues, work your way up mindset. And yet millennials are the instant gratification generation. And that's partly because that older generation, they worked so their children wouldn't have to work as hard. And now when the younger generation wants that instant gratification, they're accused of being lazy and entitled. So both groups need to do better to understand where the other generation is coming from and find ways to mesh those mindsets.
Yeah. Well, I think part of the story centered too on parents are kind of blocking the way a little bit. When their kids might say, I don't want to go to a traditional 4-year program, I want to go to trade school or Gateway or whatever the case may be, they're stopping that. Did you find much of that?
Absolutely. It's because, again, that image problem. People don't see manufacturing jobs as having the prestige that something that requires a bachelor's degree would. And the fact of the matter is that many of these manufacturing jobs that don't require a 4-year degree pay just as well, if not better, than those that do.
I saw some of those starting wages were way up there. Well, Andy, great story. Keep it coming, and thanks for being on today.
Thanks for having me.
All right.